Hot outside in Brooklyn, also hot in Fort Lauderdale today, and really hot inside the Broward County Convention Center, where the National Urban League was holding its annual confab, hearing from presidential candidates, including Hillary Clinton, who took the stage on Jeb Bush's home turf and turned his catchphrase, "Right to Rise," into both an attack line and a punchline.
I don't think you can credibly say that everyone has a right to rise and then say you're for phasing out Medicare or for repealing Obamacare. People can't rise if they can't afford health care. They can't rise if the minimum wage is too low to live on. They can't rise if their governor makes it harder for them to get a college education. And you cannot seriously talk about the right to rise and support laws that deny the right to vote.
So Clinton takes a pretty direct shot at Jeb Bush. So it's Jeb Bush's turn to fire back, go toe-to-toe, legacy candidate to legacy candidate, raise the stakes, bring down the big Jeb Bush hammer. Here's how he took it to Hillary Clinton.
When President Obama says that, quote, "For too long we've been blind to the way past injustices continue to shape the present," he is speaking the truth. But we should be just as candid about our failures in addressing the injustices of a more recent origin. In our cities, we've got so many people who have never known anything but poverty, so many young adults with no vision of a life beyond the life they know. Every one of them was also promised at least one big break in life, in the form of a public school to help them learn who they are and what they can do.
All right, so while Jeb Bush turned the other cheek, he left the responding to Hillary Clinton to his spokesman, Tim Miller, who took to Twitter with this spicy response. Quote, "Clinton-esque move to pass over a chance to unite in favor of a false cheap shot when you have no record of accomplishment to point to, ... Yes, ... indeed, Tim Miller. John, did Secretary Clinton execute the play she wanted to execute at the Urban League? Why'd she do it, and how do you think it's going to work?
She executed the play she wanted to execute, which is she thinks she's going to be the Democratic nominee. This signals, among other things, that she thinks Jeb Bush is going to be the Republican nominee, and she wants to get out in front and start framing him up. I don't know if it's the right play, because by elevating him in this way, she probably does more to contribute to his likelihood to be the nominee than keep him from being the nominee when the Republican race is, I think, far from settled.
Yeah, and of course, the more they paint him as a conservative, the more he can tell people I'm a conservative.
Right.
I believe that Hillary Clinton can win this race if it is Jeb Bush versus Hillary Clinton, if she defines him as too conservative for the electorate, what Barack Obama did to John McCain, what he did to Mitt Romney. I think the way she framed things up today was smart and aggressive, and it's going to help her win the nomination. And if she's successful, it's going to help her win the White House.
Like I say, the downside risk, I don't think we're saying the same thing in slightly different ways. The downside risk is that it helps Jeb to have her attacking him when his problem with a lot of Republicans is he's not seen as conservative enough. When Hillary attacks him as being too conservative, helps him, as you said. But there is no doubt that the question, what's so interesting to me about this is that she is running as a quasi-incumbent. The inherent thing going on here is, I'm going to be the nominee.
She's also running negative, and Jeb Bush is going to be reluctant to do that, although his super PAC may feel otherwise. Yeah.